Hi, this is Group Denim. Woohoo! We are week 5, and the chapters we're studying today are 6 and 8. The prompt reads, please discuss with your group members your thoughts on organizational culture, what types of cultures you have experienced in the workplace, positive, negative, engaging, entertaining, etc. And if you believe that that leaders are able to shape culture. And go. You're on.
All right. So I think that organizational culture is very important because it creates a basis of what employees expect and are expected of them. So if you are the leader and you create a culture of like a positive culture where you all know what's going on and all that stuff, it creates a better environment, a working environment for everybody. I've been in a couple different organizational cultures. My previous store was a bad example, a negative example of what a bad organizational culture is, only because it was not a fun store to work in, or my old manager was just didn't create a good culture of fun, and he didn't make work any fun for us. And now I'm in my store now, I'm in a positive and very engaging store where my manager asks for our input, what we think could make our store better. And she lays down expectations for us, and she creates that culture, and she has times where she rewards us for that, and that's a great culture, I think, for us to have. I think that leaders are able to shape our culture because they create a culture for the group when it comes to language, how they speak to each other, what kinds of routines that we can have when it comes to our responsibilities, what the goals, so overall goals of basically what the organization is all about. And leaders are what they make up. They are one of the reasons why an organization can have a sort of culture, because they upkeep what the morals and the values of what an organization expects for their employees to have, and they are like the number one person that subordinates can look up to for that. Also, when it comes to culture, leaders have the opportunity to create team building opportunities so that everybody can get closer together. It creates stability so they can be more productive also. So there you go.
Team building activities are the best.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay. Go.
So, working at Starbucks, especially, you hear the word culture a lot. Mm-hmm. So Howard Schultz, our CEO, I think personally has done a really great job defining our organizational culture so that we are all on the same page and we know what the company's goal is. So throughout my time, I've worked with like several different types of managers and leaders, and I've worked with some who were great at enhancing the culture, and then I have worked with others who seemed to like completely ignore it, and basically would do whatever they wanted. Some of the bad managers, kind of like Kristen was talking about, the ones that aren't any fun to work with. So like the leader I have right now, for instance, is taking time to go through a book called Oz Principles, which is all about like taking accountability for your actions. And as a leader, she's creating the learning culture and helping them to grow as individuals, which helps to create that climate of trust and It just shows that, she's genuinely cares about creating that kind of a environment and culture. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. You're not that kind of unfun manager, are you, Donna? You got to be the
No,
best. I bet
I
people
was
just
fun.
say you're like a little teddy bear. They just love you.
Yeah, I was super fun.
All right, Leanne, you want to go next?
Yes. And what Christine and Donna also both said, I think that a leader definitely does shape the culture of the environment. And like Donna was saying, that Howard Schultz has done an excellent job, like fully defining that culture for us. And there are those moments where you have like really practice what they preach, and then you have those who don't. And an interesting fact, there was someone in one of my previous courses who had negative things to say about Starbucks. And so I reminded her was that it was the culture of our corporation really different from the picture that her manager at the time is making or painting for her. And I'm hoping she read that post, but it goes like back to what Donna was saying, is that sometimes you have those managers who just don't follow what was defined, or you end up in a situation where choose not, they don't follow the leadership practices, or maybe they don't have leadership practices at all. Sorry, child.
Take your time.
Yeah, so I've experienced some of the very positive. And right now I'm in a very positive environment. I've also had a lot of experience in positive environments. And that's kind of shaped me as a leader, as a ready to manage my own store. But another point on being the leader, it doesn't always have to be the manager in an organization. A lot of times there are people who are underneath, the bottom level, who are better leaders for the group than the manager itself, or lead the group, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And those are people that sometimes it's just who they are and how they express themselves, and that'll go into some of the other readings that we've done. So.
Is that was it?
Yep.
I don't want to cut you off and you're like, hey.
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so going into some of the text things that I pulled out for my notes was how there was a part in the book, I believe on page 246, that talks about creating an adaptive, learning, and trusting culture. And then it says the cultures of successful organizations take a variety of forms based on group history and membership, the environment, goals, values, and other factors. However, effective organizations generally share these three cultural distinctives: an ability to adapt to changing conditions, a commitment to learning, and a trusting organizational climate. So what I took from that to kind of illustrate the point of if you believe a leader, the part of the prompt that says if you believe the leader is able to shape the culture. And I took the creating a trusting organizational climate part to be something that's very important in looking at what a leader can accomplish in an organization to shape the culture. Because there's a part that says, let's see. Okay, here we go. Is it the next section down below that on page 246 says building a trusting climate trust like adaptability and learning is essential to organizational success. Organizations with trusting climates are generally more productive, innovative, competitive, profitable, and effective. And I can really attest to this because being in the medical field when I worked in, and I'm sure Kristen, since I found out that she was a CNA as well, but being in the medical field or just in any, when I went to be on to a paramedic as well, when you build that trust in an environment, you could kind of count on your team's abilities, especially when you're trying to do something for a patient. And like we've had 800-pound patients, and of course you can't roll these people on your own, or you can't transfer them on your own. And then, you know, your team already knows the protocol, and we just know that, okay, we're going to get this done, we're going to get through it. And so we all bind together, and that goes into the part of building organizational trust. There's a portion that says competence is a belief in the effectiveness of coworkers, leaders, and the entire organization. Members are convinced that the organization can survive through generating new products, meeting competition pressures, and locating new markets. Leaders help to foster perceptions of competence by creating a compelling, relevant purpose and vision. So that would be the way that I think that the leader could build that culture of that culture of trust in an organization, and that's very important, to be able to trust and rely on your team members. And it says, in addition, they promote competence and individuals into leadership positions, design organizational structure to focus on results, focus the organization on its core capabilities, and manage change. And then there's one more part I'd like to read, and it says, leaders foster openness and honesty by assessing and improving both current organizational communications practices and their own communication competencies. So those are just some of the ways that I think he can mold an organization, the culture. It really does. They really do look up to the leader because they kind of set the pace of things. Like I had a captain when I was on the ambulance, and I was actually doing my clinicals for the on a fire truck. And there's this captain that would he would be really just, he was an ex-Marine, so he was just like really like a brute. So he would just say things like, when he was training us, he would actually yell at us and cuss at us. And it just kind of created a culture of like, you just always hated to go to work, kind of like your guys' managers and Christian managers. And so that's not a fun place to go. Then that's what the culture is just hating going to work, and nobody really binds together because the leader is not being the example. So whatever the leader sets as the pace or the tone, then that's kind of how everybody follows suit. So that's how they kind of mold it. Am I right, Leanne?
That sounds awful.
Absolutely.
Why, Donna? Are you concerned now?
I would be really sad if I had to go somewhere where somebody yelled at me every day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was bad. I was glad to get out of there.
I'm sure. This might be slightly off, but still kind of on the same note, and I'll make it quick. Right now in Yuba City, the teachers are striking. They've been on strike for a week now. So I haven't been sending my kindergartner to school. Yeah. And the reason I haven't is it's neither here nor there. I don't support either side. I've not done enough investigation, but I will say the way that they are antagonizing each other and the way that both sides are like butting heads and making it worse for the other party, I'm not willing to be a part of. So it goes back to what we're learning about culture and what Charity was saying about leadership. It doesn't build that environment that you're looking for.
Yeah. Any last words, Kristen?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, values are very important when it comes to creating culture. Like I said, like with Howard, he creates a sense of cultural responsibility, corporate responsibility especially, and he is concerned about what we can do for ourselves and for each other. So, yeah.
Sounds good. Donna, anything to add? Going once.
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Did you drop the mic?
I dropped the mic.
You dropped the mic, you're done. All right, guys, we'll be signing off for week 5. Please stay tuned, my partners.